What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Buds, Bros, and Superheroes. My name is Nick James, and if it's your first time coming to hang out today, let me tell you what's going to go down so everybody can be up to speed. The name of the show, Buds, Bros, and Superheroes, are the sections in which we'll be talking about today, and today's sections will be filled with some marijuana news, including how much money do you think is coming in due to all the legal weed this year? We have about a good guesstimate at it, plus something that's going to affect my daily life. I mean, where I go to pick up my medication. Stay tuned for that kind of news. In the Bros section, what we'll be talking about today is I've got my wife on here today, guys. I know, I'd never thought it was going to happen. What's it going to be like to figure out what she really thinks of buying into marrying a nerd? Finally, in the Superheroes section, we watched Captain Marvel. A fan favorite in this house between the two of us. We went to go see it in the theater. It is some of the only lines of Funko Pops that I have not been yelled at for collecting. I've got almost every single Captain Marvel one. We'll get to all of that and more on Buds, Bros, and Superheroes. Please help me in welcoming my wife, MegEliza.
Hey, what's up? I'm so excited to be here. It's like the coolest thing ever.
I know, and the commute for you is just so small as well.
Yeah, right across the living room.
I know. Thank you for making the time to show up, though. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's it, guys. Haha, that's the back and forth man and wife banter you got coming at you for the next hour. Right here, we could kick off by starting into the Bud section like we always do. Get a little bit of that music kicking, and I'll start off. And what are we smoking right now, dear?
We are smoking Blue Beach Haze in the small bud form because we got it on Mini Monday. I think it smells great. I love the smell of it. It's got like almost a sweet and sour, but not in the sweet and sour chicken kind of way, like sweet and sour, like Sour Patch Kid kind of way. It smells delicious. Tastes okay.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I was definitely expecting a little bit more dancing on the taste buds compared to what they did in my nose, but it's still pretty good. It's a sativa. It's not as hard-hitting as I like. We found the jet fuel at the same time, and I really still admire that. Not that I'm slouching right now or feeling like I want to go sit in the couch or nothing like that, but I want to get stuff done, just not usually as energetic. You know, it was like a soda compared to a Red Bull or some shit.
Right, you're just not as focused.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're up, but you're not as focused as you could be. There's no like lightning coming out of you.
Definitely would agree with that. That's Franklin Labs. Good stuff. Really great product, really great place. And we always go, like you said, on Mini Mondays, which is right here at our local Harvest. I don't know if every Harvest does it, but I would assume so because it is a chain. There are many other throughout Pennsylvania. Which kind of takes us into our first story where you can go and find it on High Times. It's there for you. True Leaf Cannabis Corp acquires Harvest Health and Recreation Inc. in a $2 billion deal.
That makes me nervous. As a consumer, that makes me nervous.
The Florida-based True Leaf Cannabis Corp. announced on Monday that it has reached an agreement to acquire Harvest Health and Recreation Inc. of Arizona in an all-stock deal valued at approximately $2.1 billion. The transaction creates a company with a combined footprint in 11 states in which True Leaf CEO Kim Rivers characterized as, quote, the largest and most exciting acquisition so far in our industry, creating the most profitable public multi-state operator, unquote. All right, well, you already kind of went right off the bat. What makes you nervous about it?
Because it's still small towny, I feel like. I know the bud tenders and it's got a friendly atmosphere, and I'm afraid if it's a bigger corporation, you might lose a little bit of that personal touch, you know, getting to know everyone, and I just don't want to lose that local feel.
Definitely full of the nicest people that you can go to. Definitely full of the most knowledgeable people. And yeah, I agree. You know, they're going to have to probably take on new staff. Some people may or may not want to stay. I'm sure not everything that is offered can stay through. There's going to be times where it's like, well, we do this at like this here, where people in Harvest are going to be like, that's not how we used to do it. Fuck, you know? Right. So I'm sure that's going to create some sort of shit. And the deals are going to change. And we love our Mini Monday, and we love that other deal on Friday. Half Ounce Friday or something like that, whatever it is. Yeah. It's another Franklin Labs where you can pick any 4
It's just a great promotion from a great company with good product. So
Kim Rivers would go on to say, Harvest provides us with an immediate and significant presence in a new and established markets and accelerates our entry into the adult use space in Arizona. True Leaf and Harvest are leaders in our market, recognized for our innovation, brands, and operational expertise with true depth and scale in our businesses.
She's selling me. I believe her. I want to believe her.
I want to believe her too. I really hope that it kind of goes in the same way when Disney bought Marvel.
Oh, it just got better.
I just kind of hope that, there'll be a presence, but I don't personally think that Iron Man is more Marvelized than the Avengers. I really do believe that when Disney bought Marvel Studios, they were just like, just do what you do, and now you just kick up to us, pay the mouse's fucking bill.
And that's what you think should happen? Or
I hope,
will happen?
Maybe a little bit of shelf space, it sounds like, might get kicked so they could put their kind of stuff up there as well. But I hope they just use these buildings and use these people exactly how it's all set up and just
continue as normal.
That's what I would really hope happens. So now the CEO of Harvest also seems really on board with this, quoting, "As one of the oldest multi-state operators, we believe our track record of identifying and developing attractive market opportunities combined with our recent successful launch of adult use sales in Arizona will add tremendous value to the combined organization as it continues to expand and grow in the coming years." Kind of just sounds like CEOs being CEOs and making money. And yeah, of course he's thrilled. He just made a $2.1 billion deal.
Right.
We'll see what happens. We're definitely going to keep our pulse on it because we go there every day. We love those people there as much as I think they love us. And shout out to everyone there, especially our guy. I don't know if he wants his name on here, but he knows who he is. I hope they all stay. I hope nothing changes in that respect because, I will be taking a different trip somewhere else. Or maybe I won't because by the time I take a trip somewhere else, True Leaf could have bought them too.
Yeah, man. It's came out of nowhere, so.
It might just be the next Disney or Walmart or McDonald's, You go to one of the three, and if it's not one of the three, it's subsidized to one of the other ones, so we'll see. We got to get some of that Seth Rogen weed. We saw him on, what was his name?
Howard Stern.
And he was showing off the packaging and shit, and he was just talking so eloquently. He was so smart about it. I want to package this nice because it'll help people understand, look, it's not that bad what's in here. And
right, just like a fancy vodka bottle.
He was so super smart.
Dress it up and make it less illicit, like he said.
Illicit. Yeah, that was the word he used. So super smart. And, obviously make it smart. Howard Stern said he's probably going to be a million or multimillionaire or billionaire even, I'm sure. And that's kind of what's trending right now in this other story that I brought up by High Times. U.S. economy expected to receive a $92 billion from legal cannabis this year. $92 billion made off legal cannabis going right to the U.S. economy. So this is already up 30% from last year, and somebody did money magic. I don't know how you project something, but they did project in 2025, it'll be at $169 billion. So this again is at High Times. You can go ahead. They source MJ Biz Daily. They have an analysis there doing the numbers. Again, I don't know how those numbers work, but I definitely do know we're up 30% from last year. With everything growing, we're going to go up more. It's just more money coming in. And I can definitely look forward to $169 billion coming in. We should have done this sooner.
I mean, they just got to tax it, make it legal, tax it, and use it for good purposes, get things done.
Get the federal government off of it so we can even cross state lines and do, regular economy the same way you brought up like a fancy vodka bottle when we're talking about the packaging of marijuana. Nobody really cares about bringing alcohol across state lines as long as it's, not an open container or some shit like that. Right. But I'm talking about federally, nobody gives a shit. We should do the same thing. It's what we always talk about on the show, #legalize it and all that shit. But that would be great. And definitely, wow, that's a lot of cheddar. Now, I'm going to ask you, if you were all of a sudden sitting in the mayor's chair, ooh, that kind of rhymes. That might be another tongue twister before we start. In the mayor's chair, I'm going to give you all this money in which you receive from your medical marijuana here in our home state. What would be your first thing? What do you think that this town itself needs to boost up on the most from that standpoint? Where would you put an extra, I don't know, $3 million?
Oh, man. I definitely think that should be used to get a train to New York, to start bringing people from the city here and let them live here, let them spend their money here, but work in the city. And I think if they got a train, rolling, might do some great things for Scranton.
Not only that, of bringing them here, but also just letting us go there, make Manhattan money and bring it back here. Fuck me, you could buy you would be rolling around in it,
Cost of living wise? Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If I can get a job in Manhattan, get on the train right here from good old Scranton, Pennsylvania, and take the train in every morning, done. I'd do that every single day. There are people crazy enough, and I say crazy, and I don't mean no disrespect, but they do it by bus.
Right.
I don't know why bus seems so much more gnarly, but I used to take that bus station all the way down to in Wilkes-Barre all the time, and I would see the charter bus there, and he says, oh yeah, I run this shit at 7 a.m., or we leave at whatever, so they get there at 7, and they're up at 4 to get on the bus, to snooze till 7, to get to work at 8, and I'm like, but they're probably rolling around in that money.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you could do a good life here with the money you would make out there, I would think anyway. It's smart. It's not a bad place to live. I mean, there's enough amenities that you can, get what you need, get around and everything, but it's definitely small town compared to New York City.
Because you're an OG Scranton. You've been here forever.
I'm a lifer.
A lifer here, so you definitely know about that.
Yeah, NEPA born and raised.
If I wasn't going to take that, so maybe I'd put the money into that, and then that would give me even more money, because my second biggest problem with my area is that the sidewalks suck.
Yeah.
All the sidewalks.
Infrastructure.
It's just horrible. All the time, and we have the dogs, so we like to get out and take them for a walk as much as we can, and just there's slate everywhere, and they're cracked and bullshit, and I don't know if anybody out there knows this or not, but there are roads here that aren't roads. They call them alleys, but it is bullshit because they'll try to get two people. It is fucked up around these parts, people. I came from New Jersey. I've seen tight roads. I've never seen an alley like this where it's like, you guys don't all have alleys? And it's like, no, I would definitely do some stuff with those. I don't know what the fuck I do, but they're everywhere. They're not paved. There's holes. It's crazy.
I grew up with an alley.
I don't know how you did it. It's weird.
I love it. I loved it. It made everything so much easier because you could sneak in and out. I don't know. It was awesome to have an alley because then you didn't have to worry about traffic.
You always have a place to park, which, being another small city town, for a lot of people here has to be a big problem. They have to use on-street parking or whatever.
Right.
Just some crazy town. But yeah, if I was going to have $169 billion, I know that's spread across the state. So if we do that by 5, whatever. Even if Scranton just got like an extra $1 million, that's what the fuck I would do if I was sitting in the mayor's chair. I still like that mayor's chair. Now, usually I ask one more question that has to do about the movie in which we're talking about, but it doesn't really apply here 100%. So I'll switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
If you could smoke with any of the Avengers and get their power for the rest of the day, who would you smoke with and what power would you want?
I'd want to be Captain Marvel. She's kick ass. I think she's dope. She's so cool. She's so strong. She's got all the powers. Without her, they wouldn't have been able to defeat Thanos. So, I mean, she's quintessential. She's just awesome. Who would you smoke with?
I think last time I did this, I answered Spider-Man, but I will now change it to maybe the Hulk. But I'd want to be Professor Hulk. I wouldn't want to not be able to control it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though
you wouldn't want to be the monstery kind.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to not be able to, I want to jump from building to building and be able to do it. Or just pick up a car because I can. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. Would the weed make me turn green and Hulk out? Or because I smoked too much, maybe I couldn't get angry. That's a good one.
You'd be in the couch.
Maybe Thor then? Flying that around would be kind of cool. Captain America, that'd be great. Imagine just smoking a joint and at the end of it you look down and you're ripped all of a sudden. That'd be actually, we're going to ding, 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 ding. That's what we're going to go with. I'm going to choose Captain America. Or maybe I would just get so sad because after those 24 hours with that great body, I go back to this and I'm just like, Jesus, I don't want to do this anymore.
That's dark.
Who would you guys want to smoke with? What powers would you want? All those fun things. Leave a comment down below. With that, we can close on out of the bud section and go into the bro section. Now, this is usually about being friends, but fuck, I think we're at this point a little bit more than friends.
I would say so, and I mean, I think if you're somebody's wife, you're definitely their bro, or else marriage would be awful. I think I qualify as a bro.
You're a pretty good bro.
Thanks.
Sometimes I bro you. Those are some of my favorite times when I'm like, bro, and you're just like looking at me like, yes, okay, go ahead. My main thing that I kind of wanted to talk about with you today, especially because it's the only person that I can talk about it with, of you being introduced to this world and taking a crash fucking course, man. It has become all day, every day, especially we live in the same house now. We're with each other all the time. And no, if I have control of the television like I normally do, and it's not like a dick thing of being a dictator, anybody out there who's just like, why don't you give her the clicker? I do, and then she searches for like 20 minutes and goes, I can't choose, you pick something. I just wanted to get it off my chest initially before anybody's like, why don't you let her pick?
Before the internet attacked.
Yeah.
All over the clicker. I don't want the clicker. I don't like choosing. It's weighs on me. It's my anxiety. I can't handle it.
So with me being the person who picks as much as I do, and we having a great HBO Max subscription, and them having so much DC on there, I think you've watched the DC animated Justice League more than once. You've definitely seen the Teen Titans. You've watched the Snyder Cut more than once already. You've gone through all that, but on the opposite side, we steal somebody's Disney Plus subscription, so we have all the Marvel stuff on there. And the MCU's on there, and we do watch some of that, but you've also gotten a crash course in animation of X-Men and Spider-Man through them. Because I've had a lot of old school X-Men on lately.
Yeah, you've been feeling the X-Men. You've been all about it. Especially
X-Men Evolution. I was talking to your cousin about this. That's so underrated. Everybody remembers the original 90s one, and it is fucking amazing. But X-Men Evolution, it was just so much different. So Wolverine, Storm, and Charles are the only adults, and everybody's actually out. It's a teenager. But they don't learn at the mansion. Like, they learn how to be X-Men, but they actually have to go to a real high school.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I always thought it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And it came out right when I was in that time, so I was the target demo. And they also have a great Apocalypse line. I'm going to stop tangenting in a second. All this is around you all day. The Funko Pop buying, the prop having. What I want to ask you was, did you ever think in a million years that you'd marry somebody like me?
No. I never really stopped to think about it. And I never, especially not the things that come with the person. Like, you as a person was the kind of man I always wanted to find. But you as a collector, I didn't see. I never really thought about the stuff a person would bring. And you have a lot of stuff. Cool stuff. A lot of it's cool stuff, and I like a lot of it. But it was a lot to get used to, and yeah, I'm still adjusting, I guess.
I am a huge collector of quote-unquote stuff. I've got 3 Power Rangers helmets, an Iron Man helmet, Proton Pack, Mjolnir, Cap Shields, lightsabers, wand collection, and over 300 Funko Pops, I would believe. And that's just kind of scratching the surface. Not trying to flex or be a dick about it, because it's taking me...
Your whole adult life.
Yeah, some of these things that I've had for my... No, even beyond that. I have a Power Ranger in Space Morpher that I bought off the shelf with, like, lawn mowing money. I've held on to that fucking thing, and it still works. And it's
part of
still
quote-unquote the collection now.
Yep, even on display with the Zeomorpher. Now, that came as an adult. Hashtag thanks, Mom. That was a Christmas gift like 3 years ago. Entertainment Earth was having a crazy sale, and they were just putting everything on sale. I was like, these are on sale, I guess, if you had a son who had Christmas stuff. Because I'm a giant man-child.
Spoiled. In the best way.
Yeah, I hope I'm not too spoiled. I do. I like collecting. I especially like those stuffs in the Power Rangers, what we're talking about. It's like, I just watched, getting ready for our next episode about Power Rangers. So I was watching a guy, and he said that sometimes on set that they would lose the morphers, and somebody would just run to Toys R Us or something and pick one up. That's how accurate they were to the show. So having stuff like that owned now, like, that's the stuff I wanted as a kid, of just like, isn't this it looks just like it. So those are the kind of things that I like, and there's a lot of them around here.
Right. But I love that you love them. It's great because it's your passion, and it's nice to see that in you. It's cool.
What do you think was the biggest adjustment other than the stuff? How do you feel about all the knowledge and going to cons and different things of that?
I like it. It's I would liken it to guys who are really into sports teams. You end up going to baseball games or football games, or it's just a different place to put your passion, like I said before. And so I dig it. It's a lot of good people. It's weird. You meet lots of people in different ways and connect with them, and it's kind of cool to watch you have that life.
Definitely everybody's super nice. At every con I've been to, I've never met somebody who, people who weren't like the greatest sometimes, but never a fan is what I was more getting. So,
right,
sometimes
yeah,
you meet
that's
your
what
heroes.
I meant. I wasn't talking about the famous people. I was talking about the other people that are in attendance, or the people you meet at the Kevin Smith events and stuff like that. They're just good people. It seems like, and it's cool to have friends that share. I don't want to keep saying passion. That share your interests.
Now, would you say where you grew up here, we talked about you were a local Scranton, was there a lot of nerddom around? As much as there are now, you could find a motherfucker in a Batman shirt on every other corner.
Right.
In your school, do you remember the quote-unquote kids that read comics? Was there that group, or the Game Boy clique, or the Pokemon people, or were you even in any of that? How nerdy are you? What are your roots growing up nerd like?
No, I mean, I would say I was a nerd when it came to school, but I wouldn't be a nerd when it came to social, I guess. But no, I remember the groups of kids that were into the Pokemon, but I wasn't part of that, no.
Now, would you say in your social cliques that they were like, oh, they're the weirdos. They're the ones over there playing with their cards?
No, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of that.
Good for you. Very nice around here. Because I definitely felt pressured at some time in and around high school to be like, I don't know. That stuff's for babies. What are you talking about? I don't remember who I was talking about, but in my time growing up around that, it was all about like Jackass and Viva La Bam and Element skateboards and being tough or cool or punk rock music and saying that I still woke up on Saturdays to watch the aforementioned X-Men Evolution.
I wore jelly bracelets. I know the people you're talking about.
What the fuck is a jelly bracelet?
You don't remember those bracelets when you were trying to be cool? That in that Viva La Bam time period, they were like plasticky, red and black.
Now that you're saying it, yeah,
like
maybe I do.
Jangle bracelets.
But they didn't actually because they were plastic.
Right.
Okay, I remember sweatbands more.
Oh, okay.
I've never
that was more
in
to
my
the skating side.
Yeah, no, I couldn't skate personally in my entire life, but I did wear sweatbands because I was like, yeah, see this? Anarchy. Now take me back to class. Something fucking nonsense. I definitely had a good Charlotte one as well.
You were pretty cool then, I take it.
I tried. I don't know why. I hope I'm not giving away anything. The fact of, as of right now in life, I don't think we're going to procreate.
Probably not. No.
And that's the one thing I would wish that I'm going to try with my nephews. I'm going to try to tell them is like, listen, doesn't matter what these kids think of you. Just do what you want and it's going to be okay. Because I know my parents tried to tell me and I'm sure their parents tried to tell them. But I don't even live in that state anymore. I don't even run into people I don't know anymore.
Right.
You know, nobody who ever made fun of me or thought or put me down in high school or middle school or any of that shit, like, I don't fucking see them. It doesn't matter. Their opinion didn't matter then. And now, as an adult, I'm like, fuck. If only I had known that, I could have
saved a lot of heartache.
Flown my freak flag and just done me that whole time. So really, yeah, we're not going to procreate, but hopefully there's one young soul that I need to fucking put that in. Ew, that sounded dirty, but that's not what I meant.
I think our second nephew will be good with the freak flag. I already think he's going to... Just from his behaviors as a baby, we'll call him a baby. He's a toddler, but...
He's a grown man in a baby costume, dude.
Yeah.
That kid looks at me sometimes like, what? Dude, I'll throw down. Like, do you want to fight me, Uncle Nick? I will fucking fight you right now. Right. He tries to bark down a grown man with his eyes because he can't speak because he is a baby, but... Yeah, no, I can fully see that. Just like, ew, you like that? And he's like, yeah. Okay, whatever.
Right. He's not going to have a care about it. And if he does, he's going to be like, what, you got a problem with it? Because we'll throw fists. I feel like he's going to be that kid.
I always like Walter Flanagan, who was Kevin Smith's friend, runs his comic book shop. Always had a good response, too, of like, hey, I read The Watchmen and you didn't. Which one of us is stupid? That's a great fucking book.
Could you ever believe, like when you were younger and you were trying to hide it, did you ever feel like someday this is going to catch on?
Never in my entire fucking life. And that's why at the end of the day, I try not to be bitter about it. Because for every person who was kind of shitty about it, now there's like 15 kind of fans, who's just like, yay, I like this too. And as long as I keep getting more, because I am a glutton. My first podcast ever was called Glutton for Geekdom. Like I don't even care sometimes. Like I'll watch something bad just to see if it's still bad, or I'll watch something once. Because again, never in my life did I expect to see all of this happen. It was just some sorted slots of cartoons and comic books. That was the only time I was going to see these motherfuckers doing anything. And everything past that was a gift from God. I even saw once at a con the VHS of the old Fantastic Four was running, like they had a TV set up. Mm-hmm. And my mind was blown. Like it's one before the one that was released. So basically, long story short, somebody had to make a movie in order to keep the IP in their house.
Okay.
So they made a movie without ever planning to release it, The Fantastic Four. And when you watch it now, it's a whole nother story. Anyway, it was playing and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how did I miss this? So yeah, now to see a new Fantastic Four, fourth version of it or fourth movie, fuck yeah, bring it on. I'll watch another one. I'll watch everything.
Because you're an OG fan.
Because I just want it all. Yeah, I never thought in my entire life that it was going to be like this.
And for it to be so widely accepted.
It's great. Every single car on the fucking road has a bumper sticker or has a sticker, a Batman emblem. Like I talked about, I still think Batman is still the greatest in terms of widespread. Ever since 89, since the first Burton, you've just had patches of people wearing Batman emblems. And it's like, I like Batman too. Thank you.
It's like being part of a team.
It is. It is. And now that team has grown. So sometimes there's dicks in it and sometimes there's people who may not get it. I don't know. I like to even take the shit and watch it. Like, thank you. I won't watch it again. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's really bad. Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, but the music.
In 2?
Yeah.
What song's in 2 that you like? It's number 1 that's got the good ones.
Brandy. Come on. Brandy. That's a great song.
Yeah, you're a fine girl.
And it starts, I mean, that's how it starts, basically, so.
Still a bad movie. But I'm not going to say I wish it didn't exist.
I don't hate on it as much as you do.
That's true. I hate on it really bad. I don't like that one. I'm just happy that they exist. I'm just happy for everything that comes down the pike. I'll watch everything. You know, it doesn't matter who they put in the bat suit. I'm going to watch it.
Right.
I even watch George Clooney do it every now and then because I feel nostalgic about it. And that movie sucks. But I'll watch it. I'll watch Pattinson. If they bring back Batfleck, I'll watch that. Eventually, I'm going to be much older. 30 years is going to go by and they're going to put another kid in there. So it's going to have to keep happening. It's going to happen. I just want to make sure that it goes in somebody's hands. I don't know. I like it all. I really do. You know that better than fucking anybody.
I do.
With that, we can end on out of this bros section and open up into the superhero section. Kind of pretty much keep this conversation going of nerdom, but talk about one in particular. It was your answer to the who you would smoke with. We watched Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel came out March 8th, 2019, rated PG-13, clocks in at 2 hours and 3 minutes. Carol Danvers becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races. It's got 2 directors, Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, and it's got a fuck ton of screenwriters. There's like 7 or 8 credits on there. Fuck that noise. It stars Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, and Ben Mendelsohn. There's a lot of other people in it, but I think those are the giant players, really. We'll get into more of that as we get into the story, which I guess we could do right now. Starting off, we wake up and Carol Danvers is on the different planet, right?
Yes.
That's one of the things I like about this. You know, if I watch Doctor Strange is pretty much like watching Iron Man, but it's magic instead of technology. Or even a lot of movies kind of come in a 3-act structure, whereas this kind of takes a time warp. I enjoy that. I like that we're not hit with her pre-powers. She's already a ass-kicking warrior on this planet, waking up Jude Law, who plays, I don't even know, Jan Rog. We're just going to call him Jude Law because he's just a dick in it. He doesn't get much more characterization other than being a fucking asshole. So we're just going to keep calling him Jude Law. So Captain Marvel wakes up Jude Law and she's like, "You want to train?" And she kicks her fucking ass a bunch. And then we find out that she's got superpowers like blasty blasty, but she's got a little thing on her neck. And they're like, no, you can't use that all the time. So we're led to believe that they gave her powers somehow, but we don't know how.
Right.
It's okay. It's kind of weird, but I do.
It's a lot of story. It's a part of the movie I think you have to watch more than once because it's a lot of exposition. It's a lot to take in.
Because we start with that, and then she's got to go talk to the Supreme Intelligence, who's somebody, a MacGuffin for later on, and they give her a mission. Like, these scrolls are fucking shit up. You got to go get one of them, and they're already on a mission within the first few minutes. Right. So again, I do like that, rather than like, all right, here's Carol. She's a normal girl, and then something happened. You know, no. We're just like, this girl kicks ass. Let's go. And Ben Mendelsohn, the lead scroll, captures her and does mind warping shit on her. And that's when, in my opinion, the story's cool because we're going through different stuff and we're so confused. And even at one point, Ben Mendelsohn's like, "Am I the only one who's confused?" And it's like, no, I am too. Like, this is fun. Like, this is at least different.
Definitely. It was definitely different than any other of the Marvel
We often compare it to fast food, and, McDonald's hamburger versus a Burger King hamburger. I'm not talking Big Macs and Whoppers. I'm literally saying go there and order a hamburger. Basically the same kind of thing, but a little bit extra flair on one or the other. Whereas I feel like with this one's just a little bit different. It's not a Dave single. It's It's something even better. I don't know how to describe it in my fast food world analogy, but I like the pacing of this, and I do like that we start to get weird of like, the fuck is going on?
Maybe it's the Impossible Whopper.
Good fucking call. Yeah, only you would call that too, my vegetarian wife.
Right?
From there, she's still up in the spaceship, but we don't know what happens. This isn't going to be a full walkthrough review, guys. Sorry if I'm jumping a little too much. But the meat that I really want to get to is she eventually crashes to Earth. Then it's in the 90s, and that's where I thought it was kind of cool. A lot of people will say that it's jammed down your throat, but I'm fine with 90s references. The 90s, I'm a 90s baby. It was my time. I love all that shit. So hearing Salt and Pepper playing on the car stereo to the guy who's protecting, quote unquote, or guarding, or the security guard of the fucking Blockbuster video that she drops in on.
Security guard.
I fucking love that sentence. The security guard at the Blockbuster is listening to Salt and Pepper. Fuck yeah. I love that sentence. So I love all those references.
Right. And it's any movie in that time period I prefer, I guess, because there's no technology. That beeper is the big technology, and that's just so limited and beautiful, gives humans a whole different humanity.
She's instructed to go to Radio Shack, another 90s, because she takes our tech and somehow makes it a space transmitter and tells her team, hey, you got to come get me. Somebody we skipped over on the team, because the movie is kind of easy to follow, but somebody on the team who I love is Djimon Hounsou. And you're like, wow, what alien was he? No, that's actually how you pronounce this actor's name. He played Korath, but you might know him from other projects, especially in the DCU. If you like him in Shazam, he's the wizard.
Oh, no shit.
He also plays a fish king in Aquaman.
You play this game really well.
Yeah, it's my favorite game.
Yeah, I don't. I play this game horribly.
I know, but I can only play it with character names. I can't play it with real people names. Weird sidetrack, but he's on the team, and I do like him. So now with the Radio Shack, this team, who's headed by Jude Law with Djimon Hounsou, there's other motherfuckers in there, but whatever. They're going to come get her, but she's got to hang out and figure out why these Skrulls are on Earth now. Because they're trying to get to the lady she sees when she sees the Supreme Intelligence. Maybe a big plot point that we went over is, imagine this computer teching up into your head, and it shows you the person who means the most to you. And she sees this lady, and she's like, I don't know who that is. And now all of a sudden, with these Skrulls digging around in her brain, she sees that person. She's like, fuck, I didn't just make this person up. I must know her. So the story the plot thickens.
Right. And that's why I said I think it's a double watch. Because this is a lot of story to take in. And especially with the two alien nations, now that we're finally on Earth, it's a lot to hold on to and carry with you and keep everybody straight. At least as an outsider. I mean, if I were into the comics, or if I came from that world, maybe it would be a little bit easier for me to follow. But
yeah, especially Skrulls. You hear that a lot in Marvel.
Yeah, and I mean, I watched the Marvel with you, but I wasn't paying that close attention to carry it with me. And
Oh no, Marvel Comics. This is so far the only time that we've seen Skrulls is in this movie, and there's a little bit. Oh, we saw a Skrull in fucking WandaVision.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Because we're going to start seeing Sword a little bit more. But for once, and I kind of like it doesn't seem like they're going to be the dicks. In Marvel, they're always the shape-shifting, deceptive assholes. Every time. So for once of them just being like, listen, the main story, and now I'm sorry, people, for the plot point, for the spoiler of the entire thing, because I want to talk about Ben Mendelsohn in a little bit. They're just trying to live, bro. Like, the Supreme Intelligence is a dick. It's just trying to be an overall conqueror. And the Skrulls are like, no. And it doesn't like that. So it dispatches people just like Carol Danvers and Yondu and whatever the fuck their names are to go and kill them. And that's kind of what we end up finding out. That's what he's doing on Earth. Is he's just trying to find his people and peace out. He just wants to leave. But we're all on Earth. We're all in the 90s. And now we get what I love about the movie the most. Is a young, quote-unquote, Sam Jackson, Nick Fury.
Oh, yeah. They made him super young. It's incredible.
Isn't it amazing what computers can do?
Computers freak me out, man. I'm so stupid. I don't know anything about them. And they can do so much.
It really is amazing, because I think he was like 60 or 70. And they're like, oh, you're 30. And I was like, all right, I buy that.
Yeah, he's great in it.
We also get a de-aged Phil Coulson. Shout out Clark Gregg. He played Agent Coulson, and he dies in one of the Avengers. And he has an Agent's Shield moment, but I didn't watch that shit. So I felt that it was awesome to have him kind of back in the mix here, because I had missed him. He died in the Avengers. That was the end of phase 1. We're in like phase 5 or whatever now of their master plan, which makes you don't say master plan. Anyway, we're all together. Skrulls are attacking. Captain Marvel's got to take them down. Nick Fury's chasing her, chasing them, and we get a really good action scene on the train.
Oh, yes. In the very beginning when she's chasing one of the surfer-looking Skrulls, they run up into the train and they have a whole fight on top of the train and through this hole. And the whole time, conveniently, there's a road below the train so Nick Fury can follow it all the way.
Yeah. No infrastructure like that is built anywhere, but he's just like, I can follow this all the way around. Nobody will ever notice.
Right, and they end up having an awesome fight as an old woman, which is so cool because it lets the other people on the train be involved, which I liked.
Yeah, because all of a sudden she kind of pulls up to an old woman and punches her in the face, and it's like, we haven't seen this since Austin Powers. That's funny. I like, too, we get the best Stan Lee cameo, if you ask me, because it's a Stan Lee / Kevin Smith cameo, so for me, that's just two giant bang, bang, bangs right in my head up front.
Bang, 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 bang.
The story or the supposed plot point, because he's not just a random person, he plays himself. It is a real life Stan Lee cameo being Stan Lee.
Right, which is, we're horrible people. How did we talk about this movie and skip the Stan Lee intro?
We are horrible people. That's why. Yes, Stan Lee had just died by the time this movie was premiering. So in the normal Marvel opening with that beautiful score, the bum 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 bum, it's normally Marvel characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe doing Marvel shit. This time it's just all the Stan Lee cameos, and it's gorgeous.
Some of it is the artwork of him, and it's beautiful. And
rest in peace, man. I never got to meet Stan. All my cons, all my travels, never got to meet him. I make it sound like I do a lot. No, I'm a shut-in, but I have gone one or two places. You'd think by now I would have met Stan Lee, but
that you would have had it on your list. Yeah,
Yep, too afraid to ever. Damn, should have. Anyway, he's reading Mallrats because he was a cameo in that.
And that was like one of his first cameos, right?
Yeah, he actually got lines. I consider that a role. He's in more than one scene. Like, there's cuts between it.
Right.
So, anyway, it was pretty much. I like
We're
that
so
story.
Far off.
I like that story, though. Like, Kevin Smith wrote Mallrats, and in that, he had a Stan Lee character, like quote unquote.
Right.
And the guy was like, what do you mean by this? And he goes, I don't know. Like, imagine in this world, who was Stan Lee? And Jim Jacks, the producer at Universal, goes, well, why don't we just get Stan Lee? And Kevin goes, I don't fucking know Stan Lee. And Jim Jacks goes, I do. I'll call him. And Kevin goes, Hollywood is good. So he's in this movie. Kevin's commented on it as well. He really likes being part of canon now. But that car chase scene leads us to one of the Skrull dying, Ben Mendelsohn figuring out, like, I don't want to go through this beat for beat anymore, because at the very end of the day, what I want to get to now is not like their crypt and the Pegasus thing and all that sleuthing around. Shit happens that lead them to Monica Rambeau. Like, that's a fun fucking thing to talk about, especially now, post WandaVision.
Yeah, because you see on the side of her plane early on the name Photon, right? And that's how she's tied to her daughter from the comics or whatever, and that's the girl that's in WandaVision, isn't it? Is that her daughter is?
So we're talking about Lashana Lynch, who plays Maria Rambeau. But Monica, is the daughter. Yes, the Monica Rambeau at 11 is in this, who then becomes Monica older, who's Photon / I think she had another name in that maybe. She didn't really pick a superhero name yet.
Right.
But yes, there are tiny Easter eggs. Nick Fury says there, not unless you can glow like your Auntie Carol. And it's just like, we see what you're doing there, sir. Maybe I can fly up in space. I love her coming back and just being like, hey, it's been like 7 years or whatever. What's up?
And the child is such a child and just accepts it.
Yeah, she's amazing in this. I love that little girl.
Yeah,
and it's amazing
she's
the casting
beautiful.
that WandaVision did.
Yes. Yeah, I would say so too. Her older version of herself is something about the eyes, the twinkle in the eyes. I mean, they both have it.
It's so good. And I really love her in this, where she's like, so I'm sorry to keep bouncing around. They go, they find her. Now we all have to go to space. And Ben Mendelsohn steps forward, the bad guy, and he's like, listen, I'm not bad. All right, listen, I've got the black box, and you've got to find out that Ewan McGregor's the dick, and he shot down you and the general, that lady who you see. Anyway, he's on there. We're all on a team now, though, and we all have to go to space to find the Marvel's lab.
And we're also are we already looking for the Tesseract? Or do we not know that that's also, is that bonus?
I think that's kind of bonus. I think that's what we already spoiled that Ben Mendelsohn, the bad guy, the main Skrull, is just looking for his family. He's just looking for his family this whole time, whereas Jude Law, he wants the Tesseract.
Okay.
So we do get another Tesseract thing. I want to talk about, and maybe somebody can help me, like the properties of the Tesseract. How can a Fonzie lunchbox hold it, but in Captain America, it hits the bottom of the aircraft carrier and burns through until it falls in the ocean?
Please, someone in Nerd World, actually answer this. Please, this is the comment section. I need to know how the Tesseract works so we could ease my husband's mind and he can sleep again, because he's been thinking about this like crazy.
Yeah, these are the things that I wanted to bring up in the Bud section or the Bros section too.
The way your mind works? Yeah.
You just have to deal with
It's
me bringing this shit up. And you're like, I don't care, Nick. And I'm like, yeah, but listen, how can it go inside of a briefcase also in Endgame and not at the bottom of this? Why does it burn Tony's hand when he touches it? There's a lot, guys. I need your help. We need to talk about this in the comments as well. What's going on with the Tesseract? What does it and does it not burn? I don't know.
I don't know the science, man. There's definitely going to be science behind it too. I'll take it. I want to learn.
That's funny too. Speaking of science, they have a science guy in that scene. It's one of my favorite parts. So like, this is your science guy. There's a Flurkin. I feel like we're doing a bad job explaining this movie this week, but it's a little jumpy, but it's not hard to understand because again, it's a fast food Marvel movie. You will get it. But at the end of the day, she kicks a fuck ton of ass in this entire movie, and it's great. But also, it puts the Avengers movies.
They use that song that I don't like that they use that "I'm Just a Girl" song when she kicks all that ass on the.
That's so funny. They put that in there specifically for girls. Like, it meant to be there. What song would you have liked? I mean, it gets as
something
90s as
heavy.
possible.
Like, I understand it should be something heavy, or I guess in that case, uppity. But I don't know. It just felt too on the nose.
Anybody trying to keep up? She finally gets. I talked about earlier. She had a little thing on her neck to control her powers. Turns out that was a bluff set up by the bad guys this whole time, and they never gave her anything. They are her powers. She rips the little thing off, and now she can kick ass 100% and take back
right, because
the
wasn't
Tesseract.
It like restricting her?
Yes.
You're right. Okay.
Take back the Tesseract, save her new Skrull friends, save her Earth friends, save the Flurkin, save the world. And when she does it, it's to fucking no doubts, I'm just a girl. And we get it. You know, this was Marvel's first step out of a female-led fully fronted lady movie. But yeah, I guess now that you're saying it, I'm Just a Girl might be a little bit too on the nose.
Right. And I mean, it is an awesome scene. I mean, it's beautiful choreography and it's beautiful to look at. I would have maybe picked a different song. I don't know.
Can't fault you for that. At the end of the day, she kicks all the ass. She realizes Ben Mendelsohn is okay, and she's going to go with him to find more scrolls. She gives Nick Fury a pager. She's like, this is for emergencies only. Now, what I want to ask you is, why wasn't the events of the first two Avengers movies emergencies enough for him to go, maybe we need Captain Marvel?
Oh, man. I have no idea. To me, those were emergencies.
I would say, yeah, I guess so at the end of the first Avengers, they were going to nuke it, but the Avengers did save the day with it, which is all convenient. Many plots had to come together to make that make sense. And Sokovia definitely, if that guy's plan went down, Sokovia would have dinosaured us. It would have had he created a chunk of Sokovia to fly out of the Earth's atmosphere and come back down.
Right.
Thus creating an Earth-made meteor to Earth. That would have fucked us up bad. Like, that was definitely an emergency. Maybe I could see, like, if the end of Avengers ended with them all dying, that would have been the emergency that he needed.
Okay.
But
I see what you're
that fucking comment was pretty much up there, dude. Like, there was some end hours of Avengers Age of Ultron in which it was
could
like,
be counted. Yes,
it
could be.
Shit, man. Like, maybe. I know they're on it, but it's also like it's left the Earth's atmosphere at this point. Maybe should have called her. I don't know.
I just wish we got this movie earlier in the series of movies from Marvel, because I enjoyed it, but I wish I had known about her existence earlier in my superhero learning world, I guess.
I agree, yeah, because we definitely saw this one in theaters together, and by then you would most certainly seen a butt ton of stuff. Unfortunately, I think it just comes down to comics are boy stuff. Nobody wants to go see a girl comic, and then Wonder Woman came out and was one of the greatest things ever, and they went, fine. I guess if they did it, we should do it now, and that's why this came out as late as it did.
Yeah. She's pretty awesome, though.
Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah, her and Endgame and all that, like I kind of mentioned earlier, that she can't be in a lot of Avengers Endgame or Infinity War because she's too good.
She's too strong.
Twice she incapacitated Thanos within minutes at the first of the first movie and at the end of the second movie. So she was in there in between there. It could have only been one movie. So I'm excited to see what we do in futures of like, what the fuck can the stakes be that she's going to have to go and take down again?
Right.
And I wonder where they're going to put it in the timeline. It's probably going to be post-90s, or post this movie, obviously, but pre-other Avengers just out there.
That would be awesome.
It would be. I wonder, too, do you think that she looks like somebody who would be a biter?
What?
I know, we're going to get there eventually. But does Carol Danvers look like a biter to you?
No.
Because even though she's from Earth, she did live on Kree for a while. And, you know, they said to have adopted her. She's got some Kree blood in her. She bleeds blue and shit.
Right.
And there is a point where Peter Quill says, I got this bite. I got this scar from a crazy Kree girl who bit me.
Ah.
Somebody put that together in somebody's comments the other day. I was like, that'd be great. Imagine if the next Captain Marvel, I don't need a fucking Bond. I don't need them to be there. I would just like one scene of just Peter Quill in the background even. You know, I don't need the bite scene. You know, it could just be a haha. But just imagine if we get a scene of her somewhere and Chris Pratt is there, not saying any fucking lines. I don't even want the camera to single on him. He's just sitting there because how big can the universe be? On a scale of, we do letter grades here, as you may know, dear. What do you give this movie?
I would probably give this movie a B plus. It did all the things I wanted from a chick movie. She wasn't too girly. She wasn't, she wasn't too. They didn't really like femme her up. No big shoes or cut off costume or anything like that. She was
no midriff or tits hanging out.
Right, and she was tough. She was boy tough.
I would probably go to the same. I did like that the story got a little bit.
Tough. Sorry,
No, you're good. That the story, it wasn't played out 1, 2, 3, 4. It was more like a 3, 4, 1, 2, 5. And I was like, okay, I can deal with that. Like, I like that a little bit.
That went right over my head.
Instead of going like, here's scenes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We start in the middle of 3 of just like, here she already is. And then we have to kind of go back in time and figure shit out as we go through.
Right.
Is what I meant. And then, of course, the ending's where the ending is.
Yeah, I dug it.
I dug it too. I think they did a good job. I like her as the character. I think Brie Larson's great. I love Sam Jackson. Ben Mendelsohn is just always good. And no matter what he does, I very much like him. Jude Law was okay. Annette Bening as this Supreme Intelligence / Dr. Wendy Lawson. I didn't like her at all. I didn't like her. I didn't like it. Sorry.
That's okay. I could have stood for somebody different as well, I think.
It literally, in my mind, could have been fucking anybody. Anybody different, and I would have been happier with it. She bothered me. Everybody in it did their jobs great. It was just, it's another Marvel movie. I'm happy it's there. As we were talking about earlier, I can never get enough Marvel, but it broke some boxes, but didn't break any glass windows or glass ceilings or anything like that. It was there.
I agree, yeah. I do have to say, though, from this movie, I did get an awesome bomber jacket, thanks to this movie. It's got Carol Danvers on the name tag and everything.
Yeah, fuck yeah, FYE. We waited forever, though. They were like, we want $80 for this jacket.
No, it was $90. It was $89.99.
So it started $90. We were like, fuck you. And we go to the mall quite often. We like to walk the mall and I like my Funko Pops, as you people know. So we go in and out of there and we'd go there and like, now they want $70. Fuck you. And eventually we just waited. All we had to do was just outwait everybody else. And I think we picked it up for like $25 or $30. Like 66% off or some shit like that.
Yep.
But fuck yeah, FYE. I love that jacket as well. It is really cool. And you get a lot of cool attention from it too. Like people
who know. Yeah, I get very specific, it's those nice people that we were talking about before from this little comic world.
It's a deep cut jacket, It doesn't just flat out say Captain Marvel giant on it. You have to see the pieces and kind of put them together. So the people who do are usually deep cuts. And yes, we are a friendly bunch. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if you it's a sweet jacket every time you wore it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
With that, guys, I think that wraps on up the superheroes section. It was definitely a fun time hanging out with you, my wife. I'm sure you'll be back on. Did you have a good time?
I did. Once I got a little less nervous, yeah. This is your world. The microphones are your thing, and it was very intimidating, to say the least.
I think you did a great job, dear.
Oh,
thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too.
I love all my listeners out there. Thanks for tuning in once again. If you can give a like, subscribe, follow, share, all those fun things. You know I try not to ask too much, but at the end of the day, what I can't ask enough for is maybe, if you know a friend who likes Buds, Bros, or superheroes, recommend our show, because I'm telling you, I got a show for them. I have been Nick James.
I have been MegEliza.
Buds, Bros, and superheroes are out of here.